Good morning, everyone. I'm Klokinator, and today I'm here to present a new website which I and a few others had a small part in bringing to fruition, Tanas Manor. Normally, FEE3 is reserved for ROM modifications and other things of that sort, usually with a strong focus on fan games and a lesser focus on things not of an entertainment nature. Tanas Manor is a website, so it probably seems odd that it would get an FEE3 video. As someone who has been helping out with it, and I do mean in a very minimal way, I felt that it deserved a video to explain a lot of the reasons I'm glad to be a part of designing it, as well as to ask for help in finishing it. Tanas Manor is a work in progress, not currently complete, though the majority of the hard stuff is complete. It's part of the Boo Mansion network, which many viewers have probably heard of, at least in passing. Boo Mansion is a community that has been around for almost 10 years now, and recently, the owner, Bhutan, has decided to expand from only the Mario universe to the Fire Emblem universe. He saw a number of ways he could improve on what was already out there, and since he was one of my friends, he asked me for help in making the website complete. The site has a simple premise, and that is to give an easy-to-understand visual representation of everything in Fire Emblem, from the first game to the newest, in a simple visual interface so that everyone can find everything they need to fully appreciate the games. It will, when complete, have a walkthrough for every game in the series, character bios, statistical lineups, and tools to make playing through every game that much simpler, so that any player can easily find what they're looking for. As you can see, this is the Games page, the page that links you to all of the main games for each Fire Emblem game. There's a listing for Fire Emblem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, as well as the 4 games at the bottom: BS Fire Emblem, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and finally Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem. Clicking any of these pages will take you to the main hub for each game, and while currently many of them have no content, that's easily remedied with the templates that Bhutan has designed. Let's take a look at Genealogy of the Holy Wars page. As you can see, the game description isn't written yet. That usually falls to me since I'm the expert in English, and I wrote the bios for all the other games we have listed up to this point. I keep getting distracted with my Let's Plays though, so I tend to forget to write these in. Oh well, I'll get around to it soon enough. Down here, we have a listing of the release dates, with each game having its own dates, obviously filled in, a miscellaneous section which usually will have English patches or some other important game information for anyone new to the series to quickly access. FE4 will have a translation patch listed, most likely Garnef's patch once it's done, especially since we prefer using the updated terminology at Tanas Manor rather than the fan translations. Nobody likes Ogier, but come on, it's the official name, so we have to use it. We also have a screenshot function, which is currently a tad bare bones, as again, that job falls to me and I tend to be busy with stuff, so I forget to get around to it. You may notice the ad here. We tried keeping ads to a minimal, but really, ads support websites and keep them free. I use AdBlock, but only on YouTube videos, since I know keeping websites running is more important to me than not seeing a very minor ad. Anyway, as you can see, these entries pop down to reveal hidden content, and I am seeing a lot just for FE4. Every game has this much content to fill, which is why it takes so long. Even the last year hasn't been nearly long enough to fill in this content. With that in mind, let's take a look at the FE4 Children's section, because I know you FE4 fans are going to love this. This is the Children's section, with a listing of their names, father, mother, holy blood, character description, skills, and stats passed down by the father, for those children with the Select Father drop-down box. Please note that while the drop-down is an ugly black and white thing, that'll look a lot better in the near future. We'll be fixing that up. You may notice here that Larse and his substitute are listed in the same slot as each other. That's so it'll be easy to see just how truly terrible the substitutes are compared to their non-substitute siblings. Yay for discrimination. Okay, so if we select the Choose Father box here, we can choose each father from the list of names and see how the growths and stats change dynamically down below. Here we can see Noisha's father stats, which may look pretty good. His passed down skills and Holy Blood also change dynamically, all of this handled through a fairly involved flash math calculation, though once it actually worked for the first time it was pretty cool to see in action. And we can see the growths for all other fathers, which I am previewing right now, and you can feel free to go to this webpage yourself. It's located at tanasmanor.net. Another thing to note is that we have all characters in all games, including FE4 and etc., in the order of earliest recruitable to last recruitable, which makes things like planning out an FE4 run that much easier for the newbies. like me, since I'm sort of terrible at FE4 and I never really understood inheritance prior to Bhutan designing this tool. Bhutan also made a simpler stat page, complete with character growths, and another page for their base stats. If this colorful display of awesomeness was too much for the average person, or if they wanted a simple copy and paste sheet for Excel or whatever reason. We also have simple recruitment pages with simple instructions on how to obtain characters. And once we have the inevitable walkthroughs written, there will be links to each character in the walkthrough for quick and easy two-way referencing on how to recruit them for each game. Here too is the Fire Emblem Binding Blade page, again using the most up-to-date translation I might add. I did write the bio for this game myself, which isn't really important, except that I like to brag and make myself feel good about myself, so that all those nights of crying into my pillow weren't actually me. Never mind. Anyway, as you can see, there's actually a link to the old translation patch here, though at some point in the near future, when one of the alternate patches is complete, and likely Archibald's patch at that, we'll be hosting that instead, as it has updated names for items and weapons and characters, etc. Here's the swords page with all weapon pages for TM looking like this, so that they have the same universal design. I, being the ever-perfectionist, wanted these items lined up in a specific manner with normal weapons up top and special weapons, also known as effect weapons, at the bottom, though FEA was the major exception as we used the in-game convoy as the preferred order. Here we have Blazing Swords page, which I again wrote the bio for. Nothing in Blazing Sword is really all that amazing. It's pretty much the same thing for all the GBA games, and they don't have complex systems like the FE4 inheritance thing, so they weren't a major issue. FE7 does have the only current walkthrough page, which is for Lynn's prologue, and I'm the one who wrote it so that we'd have a template once we got to tackling that small hurdle, but it's really nothing special. You can take a look at it if you want, but I'm not going to cover it in this video. Here we have the Fire Emblem Awakening page, which is by far one of the most complete pages on the site, though not actually 100% or even above 50%. But the hard stuff is done, and that's what's important. Bhutan has a 3DS capture device, so he's probably the one who will be writing the walkthroughs for this game, in addition to taking gameplay screenshots. That'll be tons of fun. If anyone else has a 3DS capture device and wants to help, though, we'd sure appreciate the help. Here, I wanted to present one of the coolest pages on this site, by far, the Fire Emblem Awakening Shops and Merchants page. This page is more informative than any other, and I would know, as I wanted it to be nice and complete, because every other page on the net was too confusing or lacked a lot of information. Clicking down here at the bottom on one of these two buttons brings out the core content, the shops along with their items. Yay, items! You can see that it covers the first to last shop, and then if we click up here, we can see the Anna Merchant shops, which were certainly fun to design. You may notice the question mark. That's the rare item marker that tells you to look up top at the list of rare items that may appear for each Anna Merchant. A nice handy visual guide. That's just what the doctor ordered. Here we have the Unit Skills page, which is another of my favorite pages. It lists all the skills in the game separated by class, which you won't get anywhere else. Let's face it, you only care about what classes have skills, so that way you can reclass into them. Alphabetical order isn't really important, so we didn't bother with that, though we might add it in the future if demand increases for it. Here we have the wallpaper page, which was probably the most minor of the pages for me to show off today, but it's a fairly cool page, so I don't mind it. All wallpapers can be viewed and downloaded in a host of sizes, and we'll likely be adding more if they get released officially. Here you can see Sully and Stahl lounging around, or at least that's who I assume these two are. I'm not a terribly familiar Fire Emblem Awakening player. Yeah. And that's about it for this presentation of the new Tanas Manor website. Like I said, it's been a work in progress for nearly a year now, and I really want to see this site get completed. While the admin is a competent coder, actually, in my opinion, a well above average coder, he's still just one man, and we have a lot of content to add. If anyone wants to help make this site get finished on a fairly good schedule, we could really use your help. We need staffers, and you don't even need to be a coder or anything like that, just familiar enough with a simple template that you can fill it out, like a few of my friends, Magix and Warg, are doing to help speed this site along. Within a few months, with a few more people, we could easily get it completed and have a new resource available for everyone to use. Thanks for watching the vid. I'm Klokinator, and I'm clocking out.